to this overview course of the ISO 14155. The course intends to provide a summary overview of the standard. The essential points are covered in this course without going into too much detail. We will provide you with an understanding on when to apply the ISO 14155 requirements, what are the basics of the ethics requirements, a list of essential tasks and elements during preparation, conduct and closing a clinical investigation, with a brief review of the main responsibilities of the sponsor and investigator. The objectives of ISO 14155 are really to create a GCP guidance specifically for medical device clinical investigations, outlining the requirements for the design, conduct, recording and reporting of clinical investigations on humans, to assess clinical performance or effectiveness and safety. Note that ISO specifies both clinical performance and effectiveness, are now outlined in ISO 14155 scope. Definitions of both terminologies have been given in the document. You can read them carefully here on the slide. Reading both definitions side by side, you may notice that both are targeting a response to the medical device, where effectiveness tends to point to obtaining such response in a clinically significant manner, but may be considered in a slightly broader manner than clinical performance. Nevertheless, for designing clinical investigations, one will see more and more the use of clinical performance being substituted by effectiveness, as the two are difficult to distinguish for most devices. There are several important notes under the scope section of the ISO 14155. The first note draws the attention that specific product standard may provide specific requirements. This is usually the case where specific product standards outline statistical requirements or other study design requirements, such as standards on heart valves, for example. The second note refers to software as a medical device, and the fact that the standard must be applied as far as relevant to demonstrate analytical validity, scientific validity, and clinical performance of the software device. Justifications for deviating from the standard's requirements can be done based on considerations of the uniqueness of indirect contact between the subject and the software device. A reference is made to the IMDRF guidance document on clinical evaluation for software as a medical device. ISO 14155 has a number of important references. The one on risk management is normative, which means that ISO 14971 must be taken into account in conjunction with the use of ISO 14155. Clinical professionals involved in medical device clinical investigations need to be well acquainted with the risk management process. ISO 14155 makes now a very strong link with ISO 14971 on risk management, which means you have to apply the requirements of the latter when applying ISO 14155. Throughout the document, important requirements can be found concerning risk management activities, including Annex H, which provides an overview of the risk management processes between the ISOs 14155 and 14971.